Allington Castle is a stone castle in Allington, Kent, just north of Maidstone, in England. The first castle on the site was an unauthorized fortification, built during the Anarchy, 1135 to 1153, and torn down later in the century when royal control was reasserted. It was replaced by a manor house, which was fortified with royal permission in the 13th century. Various alterations and expansions were made by successive owners over the following 2 centuries. The property was developed into a fortified compound with 6 towers at irregular intervals along the curtain wall and domestic buildings in the interior, including one of the first long galleries built in England. In 1554 it was seized by the Crown in the course of dispossessing its owner, Sir Thomas Wyatt the Younger. After the failure of his rebellion against Queen Mary, the castle entered a state of decay that was accelerated by fires, neglect and vandalism, until it was largely ruined by the start of the 20th century. It was saved and restored by the efforts of Sir Martin Conway and his wife during the first half of the century. After nearly 50 years of occupation by a community of Carmelite friars and nuns, it returned to being a private residence in 1999 and is currently the home of Sir Robert Worcester, the founder of the Maury Polling Company. It is a Grade 1 listed building and is used as a wedding venue, though there is no public access other than occasional tours involving trips from Maidstone town centre on the Kentish Lady riverboat. 12th to 15th century 1890s view of Allington Castle. Illustrating its riverside location, the first castle was built by William de Warenne, 2nd Earl of Surrey during the reign of King Stephen in the first half of the 12th century. It took the form of a moated mound, possibly a motte and bailey, built on a site adjoining a bend in the River Medway about 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers, north of Maidstone. The fortification was subsequently expanded, but as it was an unauthorized adulterine castle, Henry II ordered its demolition, slighting, in 1174. It was replaced with a small unfortified manor house. According to historian Sidney Painter, it was one of at least 21 castles demolished on Henry II's instructions. The present castle was built between 1279 and 1299 by Stephen de Penster, the Lord Warden of the Shinku Ports, who was granted a license to crenellate the existing manor house by Edward I. It was inherited by Penchester's daughter and passed via marriage to the Cobham family, who owned it until 1492. The building's development was continued in the early 13th century by Sir Henry de Cobham, incorporating the remains of the old manor house into the new castle. Although it was fortified, it was more of a residence than a fortress, as indicated by its extensive, and early, use of brick, which may have reflected Stephen's interests in a brickyard in Essex. That is all. Subscribe and post comments for future videos.